The first half of my season, the most important part, of the hunting season is the first part, and especially these last few weeks. First half of my season has come to an end. Today is November 14th, 2019. Tomorrow the fire sticks come out and a lot more hunters in the woods. In Michigan, we average about 14 hunters per square mile. It's great in a way because we want hunters out in the woods, but then it puts a lot of pressure on those deer. And some areas can handle that pressure. There's a lot of deer, but sometimes they can't, and especially the young bucks and the younger deer just in general cannot handle that pressure and succumb to it. And we don't have no antler point restrictions, only on the second license. So I have a lot of spikes and 4 points. I think I've seen one 6 point and only like 1 or 2 8 points. So all of those could be eliminated tomorrow. I don't know. Seeing deer is important. So I was fortunate to see deer every time I sat. Lots of bucks this year. Lots of small bucks, yearling bucks. And I know deer biology, some deer get kicked out of the area, they find new places to go. As a deer gets older, as a buck gets older in general, they like to be a little bit more alone and they find places to hide. A lot of my clients, when we start out managing the property, they'll say, well, I want to shoot big bucks. And I'm like, well, how many deer are you seeing? What are you even seeing them on camera? So there's a lot of steps we got to take to get to those goals. Some goals are lofty, some goals maybe not be manageable, but we get there no matter what. I did recently have a very nice 8 point on camera. He, again, was the 3-year-old I think that I have. He showed up on camera here, and he's coming from the north, I believe, across the road. He's not showing really in daylight here. I had some hot does last week, and I think that's what he was on. He could very well be 2. Last year I got mistaken. I thought the deer I shot was 3. He was a very exceptional 2-year-old. 190 pounds, 160, dressed. That's an exceptional 2-year-old. My personal harvest goals are 2.5 years old or older, and or the antlers bigger than the last buck I shot kind of deal. Now I could get tricky, but last year I shot the nice buck TJ Hooker. I got that on video. You can go look at that. I think it's episode 51. He scored officially by the commemorative bucks in Michigan 107/8 or something like that. Biggest buck I killed with a bow. Killed larger ones with a gun, but best one I've killed with a bow. So I'd like to bump up a little bit from that. 105, 110, 15 plus, whatever. Now in Michigan here, we're, and on 20 acres, I am not going to be consistently shooting 130s plus. That is not going to happen. Those are rare deer. Those are rare deer almost anywhere, let alone 150s. So age is more important. And I really, really don't care about score. I would like to, the score's got to be 100 inches to get in commemorative bucks in Michigan, but I really don't care too much about the score. I like to write it down and I'm be interested in it. But I'd like to get to the 3-year-old age class or older. And we don't even have, I might have one of those on camera, and we don't have none of them that I've seen or even heard around. So you gotta hunt what you have. Anyway, I'd like to break down a few numbers that I have. I always keep records every hunt that I take, and the date, obviously, whether it's an AM or a PM hunt, so morning or night, and each time is an individual hunt. So I hunted this morning. If I hunted tonight, that'd be 2 sits. So I kind of go by sits. Now if I sit all day, that would be considered 2 sits, and then I break up the amount of time or hours on the stand. And when I break down the hours on the stand, I break down daylight shooting hours. So if I get in the stand, usually I'm in the stand about a half hour before I can shoot. And legal shooting hours is a half hour before sunrise. So I account that shooting light, or when I can see to shoot, as hunting time. It's time to go. And then obviously when I leave. So I write down where I sit. I write down some notes, like if I have quality bucks, other buck sightings, does, fawns, and unknown. Sometimes you see a deer that you see the ass end of it, or you see something moving maybe in the brush and it looks like a deer or something. So I kind of go as an unknown. Or maybe I just can't see its head, so I don't know if it's a buck or don't. I'll write down the weather. I'll write down the temperature, the pressure, barometric pressure, and which way the wind is going. Those are the most important ones for me. And so I've had 10 sits this year, and I've been on stand about 28 hours. No skunks, which is pretty good on 20 acres. I prefer bow hunting more or less. I'm not going to go out gun hunting tomorrow morning. That's not to say I'm not going to go out at all. I probably will. I just don't know when. I might even take my bow out. Again, with the 20 acres and neighbor issues, there's no sense to me to bring a high-powered rifle. I have a .223 I'm going to be hunting with, and a .410 slug, or maybe a 20 gauge slug. I don't even see myself shooting much over 50 yards. The blind's right on the property line is very dangerous, and again, high hunter numbers. It's amazing to me that there's not a lot more accidents out there. Thank God there isn't, and I pray that there isn't any this year. So, a little long-winded, but that's the first half of the season, and we'll keep going after it. Hopefully that a few of those bucks survive.